Do you want a story time? Because I have a story time, and I think this is the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. So in November, I went to like this family reunion on a beach town. It's really important to us. And on the first night we got there, we thought it was a good idea to take the dogs out on the beach in the dark. It was about 9 p.m. and we honestly couldn't see anything. We couldn't even see the ocean until there was this motorbike that was running towards us with these glowing red headlights. I'm not even joking, I don't even know why there was a motorbike on the beach with glowing red lights, but the waves actually got harsher right when it came up to us. We were terrified, but the dogs, they didn't know what was going on, so we had to spend a really long time calling them just so we could run. But since it was so dark, we didn't even know where we were going, so we spent ages just walking around the beach trying to find where we were staying. But eventually we found the lights from this restaurant we found. So, also, just a little side note, is it really one of my story times without my hair going everywhere? No. But if you have any tips on how to keep my hair in place, please let me know. But yeah, I think that was the scariest thing that has ever happened. It was so scary. Do you want a story time? Because I have a story time, and it's about that time I was so injured the shop had to call the fire department. So this happened in my third year of uni. At this point, I had twisted my hips so bad and I couldn't walk for a few days. At this time, I could walk upstairs, but I couldn't walk downstairs, which is really important to this. So I went into a shop to buy something and the tills were on the first floor. So I walked up the stairs to get to the first floor because the lifts weren't working. I paid for it, but then I realised I couldn't get down the stairs. Every time I tried to get down the stairs, it was so painful and I just couldn't. So after a couple hours of being stranded on the top floor of a shop, the security guards actually had to come upstairs and tried to get me down. They couldn't get me down because obviously they couldn't fix the lift. So they actually said they had to call the fire department to help get me down. I was mortified, I was so embarrassed. I did get downstairs before the fire department came. I had to shove myself downstairs while the security guard was behind me. So yeah, it was pretty embarrassing, but I twisted my hips. But yeah, that was the time I was so injured. It took 2 hours for me to get downstairs in the shop. Do you want a story time? Because I have a story time, and it's about that time I tried to save a pigeon. Also, is it really one of my videos if my hair's not an absolute mess? Yeah. So I was walking down Regent Street with a box of tacos when I saw this pigeon on the floor. It just looked so sick. Its head was pulled to the side, its wing was on the floor, and it was walking around in circles. It just felt so sick. I couldn't leave it there, so I just stayed there while I called the vet. Also, this is something I really regret. I called the non-emergency service when I called the vet, when I should have called the emergency service. I think if I called the emergency one, it would have gone so much better, but even now, I still don't know why I called the non-emergency one. A lot of people actually came to help, which I'm so grateful for, even now. There was this girl and she went into the shop and bought a plastic box. I think it was a plastic box. And there was another girl and she bought some dishcloths to wrap the pigeon in while I took her to the vet. And there was this woman and she walked past, she was holding a box of rice and she actually gave the pigeon some of the rice just so it would have food. Yeah, I honestly feel like I'm gonna cry. I don't know why, but yeah. So finally the vet answered my call and they told me to take it there, and that's what I did. I wrapped the pigeon up in the dishcloths, I put it in the plastic tub, and I walked down the street with it to the vets. I did get it there, but while I was walking home, I got a phone call saying that the pigeon didn't make it, and that is why I still really regret just not calling the emergency vets. That is why I still really regret it. But yeah, that's the time I tried to save a pigeon. Do you want a story time? Because I have a story time, and it's about that time my bag just fell apart in the Grand Arcade. By the way, I just really don't know what was up with my voice, so just ignore it. So this actually happened to me yesterday. Anyone who knows me will know that I just can't go anywhere without a crossbody. So I was walking through the Grand Arcade when the strap just snapped in half and my bag just started flying everywhere. Also, I had like a whole makeup kit with me. So I had like the Charlotte Tilbury foundation and the lid just fell off and it just slid across the floor and right into, I think it went right into Costa. So I had a lot of stuff on me, so I couldn't just like take all my stuff and leave. So I had to just walk around the whole Grand Arcade and ask if they had a giant paper bag. I did get one in John Lewis, but I was just walking around like, do you have a giant paper bag? And yeah, the story time's really short, so I just wanted to use it to ask for bag recs. So if you have a crossbody that's really in right now, please let me know where you got it. But yeah, that was the time my bag snapped in half in the Grand Arcade. Do you want a story time? Because I have a story time, and it's about that time I rolled my ankle in an audition. So last week I had an audition. Can't say what it's for, can't say where it was. All I can say is that it was an audition, but it just went so good. Like, the others were so supportive, the acting went so well. Oh, it was just the best experience. So this happened in the dance round, and I still have no idea what happened. I think I just stepped on my right foot too hard. But it was like some of the worst pain I had ever experienced, and I know a lot about pain. Trust me, I know so much about pain. So the panel just saw me like clutching my ankle in pain, and they were just like, okay, maybe you should sit out and watch from the sides. So I did, but I just really wanted that job, so even though it hurt so bad, I just marked it from the sides. Thing is, it didn't really like hurt, it more like ached. Like if I stepped on it too much, it really ached, but it didn't like hurt, if you know what I mean. And also my blood sugar completely crashed before the audition, so if that doesn't say a lot about me, I don't know what does. But yeah, that was the time I rolled my ankle in an audition. Do you want a story time? Because I have a story time, and it's about that time I got shoved in the street right in front of Cambridge Market. So this happened on my first ever week of uni. I just thought it was a good idea to get a prep before class, so I did. I just went to the city centre and I got a prep. So in Cambridge, there's like the street with the market stalls on one side and the supermarket on the other side. I was walking down the street with whatever I got from Pret in my hand, just walking to class, when this woman just ran straight up to me and shoved me right into the supermarket. I mean, I honestly don't know why she did that. I was just standing there in shock. And then she looked me right in the eyes and said, "Of course you don't make way for people like me, you spoiled, entitled little brat." Like, I don't know. So this woman just walked away, leaving me standing around, and this other woman walked up to me and she just said, "I'm really sorry about her, but she's been doing that to a lot of people." So I guess that made me feel a lot better about myself. But yeah, that was the time I got shoved in the street in Cambridge Market.